I was just going to leave you with that North Node, South Node episode without giving you horoscopes or some guidance? Where might there be some fated events in your life pushing you to growth? With Pluto on that North Node, it's permanent transformation. And with Jupiter on that South Node, where might the release of something give you a blessed opportunity? Guys, get over here. We got to talk about this. You know what we do. The most accuracy will land with your rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, shoot right over to your sun sign. If you find you're going through more of a quiet internal transformation, like there's not a lot shifting in your external world, try listening for your moon sign. But rising sign will always hold the most accuracy. And I can't encourage you enough to listen to the zodiac signs of those you love, those you are close with, so that you don't accidentally, unintentionally pull their energy away from where it's naturally trying to go. This is why I love using astrology, modern astrology, because we can understand each other more and stop trying to mold, switch, and change each other to fit into a box that makes us more comfortable in our chart. So guys, let's talk about where these nodes of fate, where these eclipses are likely to have destined, karmic, fated shifts in your chart. Let's kick it off with Aries. My Martians, my Aries warriors. The nodes of fate are activating your 11th and 5th house axis. This is the Aquarius, 11th house, and Leo, 5th house axis. So this is its natural home state, which means it's pretty potent. It's pretty strong. This is a fixed axis, which means maybe there's something you've been holding on to tooth and nail that the eclipses are likely to say, okay, well, since you won't jump off the cliff, we're going to push you off it. Since these are fixed areas, you really want them to stay the same. But the eclipses are moving in and saying, sorry, things have to change. Life has to evolve. We need to grow. So the North Node in Aquarius, along with Pluto in Aquarius, are activating your 11th house. Your network is getting much bigger if you allow it. New communities, new friendships. And this is the house of retirement. If you are of retirement age, this could be a time when you finally do, or something forces you to. But it's our hopes and our dreams. To understand the 11th house, I always ask people, if money weren't an object and you knew you were abundant and financially secure for the rest of your life, you had so much money you couldn't spend it all if you tried, what would you do every day? Who would you hang out with? Because believe it or not, money changes the answer to that question. What would you do every day? If you had billions and trillions and millions of dollars, who would you give it to? If you knew you couldn't spend it, you bought all of your favorite designer things and fancy things, even though you guys probably don't use stuff like that. But where would you give it? Who would you donate it to? Who would you give it to? That's the answer to your 11th house. Having Pluto in the North Node activating Aquarius eclipses, this Aquarius full moon activating the 11th house is saying, get real. What's the answer to that? Meanwhile, the South Node, where we need to release and let go of, but Jupiter, where the release of something from that South Node may give you a blessed opportunity, is in your 5th house. Aries, let's get this definition off the block. You could get pregnant. Is there someone around you with a child? Do you want to have a child? Maybe you've been trying to conceive, but you need to take a different route to get there, perhaps, with the South Node eclipse in the 5th house. But that is one. Now, if it's not a literal pregnancy, then it's the conception of a creative idea. It's the conception of the way you go after romantic pursuits, the way you view romance. Some of you who are single and ready to mingle could be viewing these eclipses as my hopes and dreams for a spouse or for a lifelong partner need to change. I need to change my picker. I need to associate what is actually my nervous system sounding the alarm with someone versus what is actual authentic romance. I'll never forget, I probably have the eclipses in my 11th, 5th house axis maybe, but when I met Mr. Virgo, we had been talking on the phone, long distance pen pals for almost a year. And then when I was driving through Texas on my way to Florida, I was like, hey, you want to grab coffee? Like, just come over to my Airbnb in the morning. And I remember I slept in. I was going through a rough time. And I just was like, whatever. Woke up, washed my hair, didn't even like do anything to it, just brushed it, threw on a t-shirt that was 5 years old and ripped jean shorts. I just had no he felt so comfortable. I knew like I had a little thing for him. I was like, I really like this person, but I put zero effort into my appearance. And I thought, this isn't sexy. Like, this isn't romantic. Shouldn't I try and look better? But I just felt so comfortable around him. By the time he left, I didn't feel butterflies, but I felt like a garden start to grow. That would not just be a pretty butterfly dropping on a flower and leaving as soon as it arrived, but it felt real. And I was like, is this romance? Is this what romance really is? It's feeling happy and warm and relaxed after meeting with someone. Whoa. I used to think it should be, whew, I want to listen to the radio and just, I can't eat and it's romance. It's like, nah, sis, that was your nervous system all amiss. But this is the axis that we were having, you guys are having the eclipses on. Your old definitions of romance, creativity, how you raise children if you have them, they need to be revised. You do not need to constantly prove yourself all the time. You guys are discovering that your greatest joy, fifth house, doesn't have to come from standing alone and doing it all by yourself. It can come from building something meaningful with other people, with another network. Now, what I love about the North Node eclipses in the 11th house is you might find a new best friend coming in, but if life is a table and we can only have, say, 6 seats, 6 friends sitting on our table because you guys, you go all in with your friends, who is it time to remove so that somebody new, more aligned with who you are and where you're at today, can come sit down? So Aries, Pluto and the North Node are transforming your friendships, your long-term hopes and dreams, retirement dreams, your community, where you spend your time volunteering, donating time and money, by finding where you truly belong and who you really want to belong with. Jupiter in the South Node sitting in that 5th house release the need for constant recognition or validation from other people, because this might open the door to more authentic friendships, joy, creativity, love, romantic interest. Like if the story for you and where you're at, Aries, right now is you're looking for someone to date in terms of, I want to find a lifelong partner. This could be stop associating with that old group of friends because they're not going to get you to a place that they've never been, romantically speaking. If it's fertility and your dream is to start a family and have a child, then again, if you just altered the way you thought that dream would turn out and look at it from an alternative route, this doesn't mean giving it up completely. Just, am I willing to try this? Am I willing to think about this? Am I willing to change my diet or just my energy? Do something fun for myself in order for that child to conceive, or that creative idea. If you are an Aries listening to this and you have a dream creative project you want to launch into the world, this could be go throw yourself into an art class. Go throw yourself into a network, into a club, an organization that you've never associated with, never been to, makes you nervous. You feel like you don't fit in, but you're going to go anyway because you've always wanted to fit in. That's what the eclipses are offering you here. I love Jupiter in your 5th house. It is one of the strongest transits for conception, pregnancy. In fact, when I give pregnancy-related readings, the number one thing I go for is, where is Jupiter? If he's in the 5th house, class dismissed. You're going to get pregnant in the next year. Get out of here. But if it's not the physical pregnancy, it is a creative project. Art projects are called our babies. My book is my baby sitting behind me, and I took years. It was incubating for a year inside me before I published it and held the physical copy, gave birth to it, and put it out into the world like a child, right? And so you guys have such amazing opportunities for children, working with children, for creative projects, for a new romantic encounter that might grow into something serious and long-term. But what we have to do is move towards, where it's a little uncomfortable, a different hopes and dreams, rephrasing or revising how you view that hope or that dream. And number 1, changing who you associate with. That is so important, right? That quote, we become the 5 people we talk to every day or associate with. This is your time as a strong Aries warrior to say, okay, do no harm but take no shit. Does that person help me achieve what I want? If they don't, they gotta go. Even if you've been hanging out with the same people, going to the same places for forever, it doesn't mean you have to hate them or not like them or have beef with them at all. It could just be a very simple, I've outgrown this, and this next phase of life, I need to be around different people that will help me achieve said 5th house dream. Aries, good luck out there. Have fun. Taurus risings. Ooh, I love these eclipses for you. Pay very close attention to when we have Aquarius or Leo eclipses. Why? Because it's hitting cardinal houses. Cardinal houses are very important houses. They're significant. These are the houses where you really see it in the physical 3D reality. You guys just had it in your 5th and 11th house axis, which probably forced you to start networking or getting new friends or something with friends. Maybe pregnancy, fertility, creative ideas came under light. But now it's moving into your 10th house ruled by Aquarius and your 4th house ruled by Leo. This is the most obvious axis to describe, and it is the 10th house of career, the 4th house of home and family. We are looking at your long-term life's direction versus the roots on your chart. You are as above, so below. You are looking at where I come from and where I'm going. What do I need to release from the past so that I can skyrocket into a whole new direction and purpose in life? So from the lens of the 10th house being a career, Pluto in the North Node sitting in this 10th house for you, Taurus, is transforming your career and your overall life's direction by stepping into a more authentic version of success. You guys have Pluto sitting in that 10th house for the next 18 years. This is like, hey, surrender to what needs to die. Follow your body sensations, Taurus. Being Taurus, your body is your compass. If there is something, some task, some responsibility that doesn't necessarily feel like, I have to do it, but feels so I can't do it. My body will just not let me. That is a message. If something lights you up, makes you feel at ease, feels so right you could do it every day, that is a message. Pluto wants to dramatically change the course of your life through 4th house themes. Taurus, what's going on? Are we building a house? Are we selling a house? Do we have a dream home that we really feel like is finally on the horizon? Highly likely to happen during this eclipse season. So with the South Node and Jupiter in your 4th house of home, are you guys expanding your family? Are you buying your dream house? Are you selling a property and making a lot of money from it to invest into a better property, home, living situation? Maybe some of you are leaving a relationship and moving into a space that feels like it is all yours and it's finally fun and you feel like the king or the queen of your sanctuary. And as a result, you really feel more inclined to go out into the world and chase your dream, chase a different career. There's many ways that this can turn out. But you guys are releasing old family stories. Remember, you guys have Saturn and Neptune in your 12th house. A lot of you could be on the brink of starting a family or merging finances with a romantic partner or a spouse into this investment property idea, the new home. And there could be old family narratives like, I grew up in a hyper-independent female family and merging finances or my body to create a child with someone. There's a lot of noise in my head around you're losing yourself, you're losing your identity, don't trust anyone. With Saturn going through the 12th house, it's asking you, hey, release the old story or emotional baggage because we need to create space for a happier, more abundant home life. Because when you guys feel like you've got the luxury, comfortable necessities at home, Taurus, this is one of the top signs for professional athletes and people who love playing the long game, which the long game is literally the only thing you need for success. Your opponent cannot outwork you, Taurus. You will show up and show up and show up and show up and show up. Meanwhile, everybody else gets bored. They move on. They transition. You're still showing up. You know what that creates? Financial success, whatever your definition of success is. That is what it creates. But there must be comfort, stability, and luxury amenities at home. That is what the eclipses are doing for you, Taurus, especially my Taurus risings. So the spotlight is turning towards your life's direction, your purpose, the legacy you want to leave behind. Career, your reputation, they're all evolving in ways that might feel both exciting, inevitable, and a little scary. But again, trust your body. It is your compass, Taurus. There are, I share this with you. You guys probably already know this by now. And I just want to give a real world example to help you understand how this plays out. When Pluto moved into our 10th house, March 2023, that is when I started to realize I hate posting on Instagram. And I was doing it 3 times a day, every day. I had the top tier subscription to Canva. I was just creating. And I started to get headaches. I started to feel sick. Every time I would get the post ready and get ready to hit submit and post on Instagram, I was like, oh, my gut does not like this. And so I let Pluto sit there and make me feel uncomfortable for about a year until I was like, I'm done. I truly, I feel like I'm leaving the thing that gave me my career, because it truly did, but I can't do it anymore. I can't show up and do this anymore. Every fiber in my Taurus being is saying this is not natural, this is wrong. And when I finally surrendered and listened to that big Pluto word, surrendered, I poured all of my energy onto the podcast. I changed the name of the podcast to the Astrology Lounge. Blew up. Absolutely blew up. I feel so comfortable every day. I love my schedule. And I still sit and think, wow, why did I force myself for a whole year to go against the grain and not just follow and trust that transformation of something dying, meaning my presence on social media, will grow into something huge? That is the best example I can give you guys. So at the same time, home, family, where you physically live, your family of origin, these are becoming places of growth and abundance with Jupiter down there. The more secure your home, your foundation becomes, the higher you'll feel empowered to climb in your career or your life's direction, Taurus. Something happening with where you live is going to affect the direction of your life. And I know some people don't have a career. They are caretakers, homemakers, and I want to respect that. And so the 10th house could simply mean, what legacy do you want to leave behind? That's why I bring up the expansion of family, because this axis is that. Raising a child, raising a family, being the patriarch or the matriarch of your family is a legacy in and of itself. But Taurus, if you've got these big career dreams, plant them. Every time you hear about an Aquarius eclipse, plant the seed or make the move towards that, but ensure that where you live is a very comfortable place. Now, as above, so below here, you may find that when you take large risks in your career, ensuring that it's very Aquarian themed, that it's something for the collective and the community, by default, you may make more money. You may have to move for a career, but it ends up being a very blessed Jupiter in that 4th house, a blessed move. Like, wow, my career told me I had to move here. And I was a little like, man, I'm really established with where I'm currently at, but this is my dream. So I'm going to move there. I don't know anyone there. Jupiter sitting in the 4th house may indicate that when you finally make that move for your career, your direction in life that you want to go, you end up absolutely loving where you live. Taurus, this is really exciting. And if you want to chat more about it, since I'm experiencing it right along with you, come see me. Have fun. Gemini risings. I'm going to ask you every time, how's Uranus going? How you liking that Uranus 1st house transit? You feel wild, like life is weird? I mean, it's still fresh. I mean, it just started in April, but is it exciting? Is it fun? Is it weird? What's your life look like? Please come see me. You guys on Aquarius risings, I'm just like sending out the smoke signals. Like, please come see me. I will be here. If you catch this, I always drop Easter eggs of discounts for readings in the podcast. If you're listening to this, use code GRATITUDE at checkout. I'll know it's you, okay? Just saying, go do that. Okay, you guys have these eclipses on your 9th and 3rd house axis. This is a Gemini Sagittarius axis. This is the axis of your brain. The way you think and speak, your belief systems, your local environment, the large environment. The 9th house is university. The 3rd house is public school. The 9th house is getting a stamp on your passport and experiencing a completely different culture that challenges your own culture's beliefs. And the 9th house is your local environment. Oh, what will Cindy of the HOA think if I have chickens and plant my own food? Who gives a shit? We don't care when we go on an international trip and pull ourselves out of our bubble, do we? That's here's my Sagittarius, really loud and clear. I absolutely love traveling because it makes you realize how small your problems actually are. how minuscule and stupid they actually are. How you are worrying about something that means nothing. Life is life. Humans are humans. There's always going to be petty drama. People coming in, talking shit, whatever. But then when you travel internationally, all of a sudden you realize, why did I care so much about that person? It's the best medicine. And this is the 9th and the 3rd house axis. So Geminis, you guys have Aquarius, North Node, and Pluto in your 9th house. What is going on with your religious, political beliefs? Maybe there's wild things happening with friendships, your hopes and dreams that are forcing you to change your beliefs. If you've got a Taurus moon, Scorpio moon, maybe you're a Taurus sun or Scorpio sun, or maybe you've got some Leo and Aquarius fixed energy in your chart that's making you hold on to a belief system. Like, I believe this is what I should do for a living and I'm not letting it go. Well, is that because you don't want to admit to your immediate environment that it's actually not? Or that maybe you're not good at it? Or maybe it's a relationship that your beliefs around love and connection are starting to change and you're like, I don't think I look at relationships the same way anymore. I don't know if I want to be in this partnership anymore. We are pushing you guys towards growth, evolving in that 9th house of your beliefs. I need you to change what you believe in so that your immediate environment changes. Now, the 3rd house, the local environment, the way you think and speak, the way you listen, the way you take in information, this is where we're asking you to release something so you can have a blessed opportunity. So Geminis, life is asking you to think bigger than ever before. Whether through travel, education, spirituality, or simply seeing the world from a new perspective. These eclipses want you guys to expand beyond your old mental limits. So meanwhile, Jupiter in the South Node, what we need to release for a blessed opportunity, Jupiter, your everyday conversations, something to do with siblings as well, and the friends you've known for forever in your small hometown. These local connections become fertile ground for opportunity when you release caring what they think. One conversation could change everything, especially in the upcoming August eclipse window and all the way until 2028 as these eclipses really get going. So Geminis, the 3rd house and the 9th house are also the writing, speaking, podcasting, publishing. Come on, you're a Gemini rising. You guys, you rule bridging heaven to earth. We need you to share your ideas and be a teacher for us all. Just pay close attention to, are you teaching from old ideals and beliefs? Or are you evolving into new one? During this time frame, Geminis, it's so important that you understand that it is A-okay and actually encouraged for you to come out of the spiritual or political closet and say, I used to be very high strung on this belief, but this is where my beliefs are now going, and I'm sticking with it. This is the hill I'm dying on. Pluto in the North Node in that 9th house, transforming your beliefs by saying yes to new experiences. Read more books, listen to more podcasts, like I need to tell you guys, but get out of town, travel, go somewhere. There could be extremely fated events if you get out of your own borders. Now, Jupiter in the South Node in that 3rd house, you're releasing the limited ways of thinking or communicating, which may open exciting new opportunities for writing, teaching, speaking, and getting people gathered together to talk about your experiences and your beliefs. So Gemini risings, might you publish a book during this axis of Aquarius and Leo? Absolutely. Might you start a podcast that does very well? I totally see that for you. Might you start a blog or a Substack that takes off and does extremely well? Oh, yes. I can't encourage you guys enough to maybe step away from short form content with this, because that would be more 3rd house, and step into long form content, a YouTube video, a Substack, a long podcast. That's 9th house material right there. Whatever you guys are doing, whatever you want to achieve, if you move more into long form, 9th house, and step away from 3rd house, you may find that you actually get an opportunity for 3rd house things, which is a book deal, a podcast, a marketing deal. We don't know. But I love this. This is like your axis. The 3rd house is Gemini. So this is your time to shine. This is your time to really go after something that has to do with the internet or long-form content or writing, teaching, speaking. Absolutely love it for you. If you're ready to publish that book, this is your time. Be sure to send me a link to where I can purchase a signed copy, because I love nothing more than when I get to read your guys' chart, especially Gemini and the big three, and you tell me that you finally published a book because my horoscopes encouraged you to. It's the best feeling in the world. I tilt my head and look over at the bookshelf here because I have so many books from you guys and even your loved ones. Some of you guys will say, I shared your episode with my dad, with my mom, and they published their book. It's so cool. Astrology is something you experience, not believe, and this bookshelf next to me is proof of that. So, Geminis, have so much fun with this, including Uranus in that first house. You guys are radically, again, coming out of the closet, the spiritual closet, political closet, the beliefs closet. Some of you might be taking your first international trip ever, or some of you may have taken a break since the pandemic and not traveled. This is your time to go have a spiritual, religious retreat, sabbatical, because you're going to come home and have some sort of opportunity to write, teach, and speak. Geminis, this is so fun. Enjoy it. Cancer risings, my moon babies. I laugh because Mr. Virgo is a Cancer rising, and last night he was watering all of our trees here on Twin Moon Ranch, and the beautiful Aquarius full moon was coming up over the tree line. Gosh, it just stops you in your tracks. I'm really loving this moon. I don't know if it's because Jupiter is conjunct the sun, or I am just a Scorpio moon Pluto gal who's hanging out with this moon, but it was just so juicy. I looked at it. I was like, hey, look, it's the front door to your birth chart. Like, to me, it makes sense, but I'm human. I get it. To say these things to people who have no idea what you're talking about really puts the woo-woo on. But I was like, look, babe, it's the front door to your soul. As a Cancer rising. Oh, you guys, you Cancer babies, you're going to have the 8th house and the 2nd house activated. Ooh. This is a primal, juicy axis to have activated by the North Node in Aquarius, 8th house, and the South Node release Leo in your 2nd house. This is the money axis. The 8th house is shared money, debt, investments, large amounts of money. And the 2nd house is your day-to-day routine. It's your job. It's your biweekly paycheck. It's your bills you pay every month. We are going to have some, let's move you towards massive transformation of your wealth and finances. And let's let go of old ego. Well, this is just how it is. The 2nd and the 8th house is a fixed axis. It's the Scorpio Taurus finances, right? We want our finances to stay fixed. We would love to know forever we are fixed in a set income because we're safe, right? So when we have eclipses on this axis, typically there will be moments where it's like, okay, we gave you the opportunity to jump and fly on your own, but you're not taking it because you're stubborn on this axis, so we're going to push you off. And it has to do with money. Now, if it's not money, this is the axis that rules self-worth, that rules trust, that rules trusting and facing your biggest fears so that you can have more self-worth, and as a result, a beautiful bank account and pay off debt. You know, getting into debt is sometimes indicative of low self-worth, low self-esteem, low self-confidence. Takes one to know one. I have so much student loan debt, and while I was too young to fully understand, if I had more confidence back then, I definitely would have looked those people in the eyes and said, dude, no, take your student loans. I don't want them. I don't want to go to college anyway. I want to go make music. Get out of here. God, I wish I said that. But it's okay. I'm going to pay it off, and I'm going to learn a different lesson around that. I'll take it. But Cancer risings, Pluto plus the North Node in Aquarius in that 8th house, transform your relationship to money, to trust, intimacy, shared resources. 8th house is the house of, I trust you enough to have sex, therefore we will merge our bodies and create a child, the ultimate form of connection between two people. It's the house of, can I trust that if I give you my body, that you will come through with money to help raise this child and ensure they survive and thrive? That's the 8th house. All of us have trust issues on some form or another, right? Betrayal could come up. If you've been hesitant to trust someone to be honest with you, upfront with you, the North Node eclipse and Pluto here are saying, hey, we got to fix that because it's affecting your life. And as a Cancer rising, you're here to have a big heart and not close it off. We need to heal that so we can trust again. And number one, we need to trust ourselves. We need to trust that no matter what anybody does to us, we are always going to be okay. No matter how deep the betrayal is, we are okay. The axis of the South Node in Leo in your second house may be asking you to say, hey, where have you actually been not so trustworthy? Where has your ego, Leo, really run the show and held tight to money or done things that are selfish? Because if they're going to do that to me, then I'm going to do it back twice as hard. If they'll betray me in that nasty way, well, eye for an eye, I'm going to betray them in just the same way. Where can we clean that up and let that go and realize, ooh, you lost me? I'm not going to stoop as low as you. The fact that you lost me is enough pain and prison for you. Bye-bye. I honor myself. Now, this is the axis of money. So some of you with a South Node eclipse in the second house may be quitting a job, getting laid off from a job. And again, I don't say this to scare you. If it's already in the wings, you're already aware of it. But during the Leo eclipses, especially coming up in August, you guys might completely let go of an old way of earning income and move into something that requires partnering with another or an investment from another or makes you way more money. Cancers, what I can see with this axis is when you guys face your biggest fears, do the thing, it's Aquarius, 8th house, that makes those around you go, what? You're doing what? Good. Perfect reaction. I want you to get that. If you get that reaction, you're about to enter some serious leveling up when it comes to your finances and transformation. So Jupiter in the South Node in the second house, because I love Jupiter in the second house. You're releasing scarcity or self-doubt, which allows your confidence, self-worth, and as a result, your income, your cash money to expand. Jupiter takes 14 years to go around the wheel. Whenever it comes to the second house, it brings the goodies. It brings the money. It brings the dollar bills. I love this axis for you guys. You guys deserve that. So this season of the Aquarius and Leo, North and South Node, 8th and 2nd house for you, it's about trust. It's about transformation, shared finances. If you are sharing finances with a spouse or someone you live with, how's it going? Have you pulled your weight? Have they pulled their weight? Is there a conversation that needs to be had? Healing, emotional depth. A lot of you guys could be analyzing family patterns where you've been too Leo and pushed people away under the guise of I need to stay in control. I need to make sure that I always have the upper hand because it makes me feel strong and powerful. But maybe you're realizing under this that it's actually pushed real connection away. You guys, the healing, the emotional depth, these things are being rewritten from the inside out. You're releasing old fears around security, money, and Jupiter in your second house is reminding you that true wealth isn't only measured in your bank account. It's measured in what you genuinely value. The second house is our natural talents. The people who have second house stelliums or the sun in the second house, they are on this journey of monetizing what they are naturally good at. If they were raised in a home where they were encouraged to pursue what they're naturally good at, these are my self-made millionaires with the best stories. If you, Cancer risings, were not raised in a home where you were encouraged to shine with what you're naturally gifted at, this eclipse axis is really going to help knock you onto that path and help you realize what that thing is. So finances, let's let go of the small mindset and move towards big. Let's think bigger. Expand your mind when it comes to money, Cancers. If it comes to relationships, emotional well-being, the eclipses on this axis are begging you to turn around and look at the thing you've been running away from, avoiding, face it head on. Because you might just find that the transformation that comes from this makes you so unbreakable when it comes to close intimacy, sex, and trust that as a result, your current relationship levels up in commitment via buying a house, having a baby, some sort of shared trust, intimacy, connection. If you're single, you might find that the work you do during this delivers an incredible relationship. And then after these eclipses, as soon as the eclipses move into Cancer and Capricorn, if you're single listening to this as Cancer rising, this is when you could really meet someone who stands the test of time and meets that Capricorn 7th house loyalty that you guys crave. So this is awesome. I love it for you guys. Again, always here for you. Have so much fun, my Cancer rising moon babies. Leo, stand up. It's your time. I was on Etsy the other day, and the number one trending thing was gifts for Leos. And I was like, man, you Leos, everyone knows you guys love being a Leo, and they're on Etsy getting you customized mugs and calendars. You guys, the eclipses are so personal for you. We have the North Node in Pluto in that seventh house of marriage, partnership, relationships, the house of what's it like being on the other side of me, the mirror house. I learned in school that the first house is how you see yourself. So as a Leo rising, you see yourself as fun, the sun for everyone, enjoyable. But your partners or people you're really close with might say, they can be so quiet. They can be so introverted. They can feel like nobody sees them. Nobody cares about them. They'll present themselves as I'm happy-go-lucky, but no, how I see them is they talk more than they feel. They're very detached. I can't always get to them. No, they think they're the sun. I see them as the moon. Aquarius, seventh house. So you guys also have Jupiter in the South Node eclipse going through your first house. Guys, this is the marriage axis. So number one, out the gate, I think a lot of you are going to be getting married or divorced over the next year and a half. If you're already divorced, you might meet someone new during this time frame. The South Node eclipses in the first house are always indicative of getting married because you change your last name as a woman, or if you're a man, you are now a protector and a provider. Like, that's a serious role, being someone's husband. If you are getting divorced, this is the most obvious one because the South Node, I need to release a part of my identity. I'm changing my name back to my maiden name. North Node eclipses in the seventh house, fated karmic events around marriage, union, partnership, relationships. So Leos, what's going on? Some of you might be starting a family under this because, you're losing an old identity. You can never be the same once you become a parent. And seventh house activation with Pluto is, whoa, this does put a strain on our relationship in a different way. But relationships overall are becoming your greatest teachers over the next year and a half. Some connections deepen, others naturally evolve or disintegrate, and a few really truly might end, so healthier ones can begin. So at the same time, Jupiter in that first house of yours shines directly on you, your identity, your physical body. This encourages confidence, visibility, and personal growth. So with Jupiter in your first house, it is saying, be loud, proud, and exactly who you are. With the South Node there, even if you have to let go of a few ways of being. Even if you have to let go of a few friendships, let go of a job, let go of a living location. This is a very personal house. The first and the seventh house are a cardinal axis, which means there's highly likely to be very visible, real beginnings and endings in your life when it comes to who you are and who you are married to or who you're in relationship with. So lucky you guys that you have Jupiter in the wings of this change, because it tells me if you get a divorce, all of a sudden you are a phoenix rising from the ashes. And when people say, oh, I'm so sorry, you guys broke up, you're like, no, that was the biggest blessing I've ever experienced. I had no idea how much invisible weight I was carrying. You guys could literally, Leo risings, you guys rule being so beautiful. You may find when you end a connection, whether it's a business partnership, a marriage, or a really close roommate living situation, that you just glow. Your hair grows back thicker, your skin clears, you get to a healthy weight, you just look and feel so vibrant. And you're like, that was the best release I've ever had. But the seventh house with Pluto going through there, you're learning so much about relationships and how to maintain your loud, proud individuality while merging with another. So you guys are transforming your relationships by becoming more authentic in how you connect with others. And Jupiter in the South Node in that first house have you releasing an outdated version of yourself so that you guys can experience tremendous new opportunities, personal growth. And what I love is the first house is a health house. When Jupiter goes to the first house, so many people start working out again. They run marathons. They do strength training. I remember I would cycle 13 miles a day, every day in the heat of summer when Jupiter was in my first house. I pushed it so hard one time, I had a little mini heat stroke. Don't recommend it. But I felt so powerful. I cycled so hard. When I finally got home, I just collapsed on the floor. I think it's the best feeling ever. Can you tell my Mars is in Aries? But Leos, this is your time to shine. Jupiter in the first house wants you to feel so good about who you are, where you're going, and in your own clothes physically. The North Node eclipse in the seventh house says fated encounters, fated relationship events, be it beginning or ending, divorce or marriage, upping your connection with someone, your commitment to someone through purchasing a home or property or having a baby or moving. There's something about deepening connections, but first with releasing an old way of being. Wow. As soon as I said that for you guys, the power went out. I'm still able to record because I have full battery on my computer, but whoa. And this was so cool. Maybe it's my chart or maybe it's just me. When I started recording this episode, something in my mind was like, you're going to lose power. So make sure you keep saving this episode every 5 minutes. And so I have been. And I literally had that thought like 15 minutes ago. I was like, you're going to lose power. Keep saving, keep saving. And here we are. We lost power. I have no idea why, but I should probably go check on it. Leos, you have the power. Look at you. You're so powerful right now. Maybe it was a solar flare. Have you guys been tracking those? My Aquarius mom sends me those updates all the time. Like, look at these solar flares. Geomagnetic pull. This is you guys. The sun is the doorway to your chart. You guys are angry if you're not being your most authentic self. You guys are ready to shine. I think a lot of Leos have been playing small for like 7-ish years. And you guys are ready to say, we are taking back control of our kingdom. You guys are like having this awakening, this remembrance of your power, and you are just roaring your way through it. And the people around you might be shocked. They might be like, I don't know if I can be around this loud, proud, bright version of you. It kind of intimidates me or triggers me. But the people who do truly love you for who you are, they want to see you as the king or the queen of the jungle. Remember that. So as you guys enjoy these eclipses and Jupiter in your first house, remember, you guys were always meant to shine, and your soul's purpose as a Leo ascendant is to make sure that life always has enjoyment, because we need to see people enjoying things like you guys in order for all of us to remember life should be thrived, not just survived. Okay, I gotta go check on my power, but good luck out there, Leos. I'm always here for you. Virgo placements, the North Node and Pluto, where fated events might really push a transformation, is the sixth house of health, day-to-day routine, co-workers, pets, and the South Node, where we need to release some things, let some stuff go, some comfort zones go, in order to potentially receive a blessed opportunity, is the 12th house. Now, the 6th house and the 12th house is a very internal axis. So, Virgos, you guys just had the South Node eclipses hitting all of your personal placements. Well, if they're in Virgo, of course. But if you're a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, those eclipses in Virgo were very personal. Needless to say, I think you will look forward to this break where it's not so personal in your face and real life changes. The 6th and the 12th house is the health axis. And it's not a health axis like the first house, but I always associate it with the 12th house is my mental health. The 6th house is my physical health. Prior to being an astrologer, I was a holistic health coach, and I got into astrology because I started to get example after example of how our thoughts, our energy, and our moods affect our physical health. Genes load the gun, lifestyle pulls the trigger. That is this axis. So Virgos, I feel like you guys are really burning the midnight oil here. Have you taken time for yourself? You guys are so good at being of service to everyone around you. When was the last time you looked under your own hood, so to speak? So the fact that we're having a push towards the 6th house and a release of the 12th house. 12th house is the mental, 6th house is the physical. We need to release an old narrative, 12th house. We need to release, it could be something genetic, whether it's a mental health thing that's genetic or an ancestral pattern. If you're burning the midnight oil because that's what you saw your mom and dad and your grandma and your grandpa do, we've got to stop. Virgos, I'd never want to use astrology to scare people, but when there are eclipses on this axis, this is one of those, you need to take a break. And if you don't do it, the universe, God, whatever, might move things around to force you to do it. If you won't take a rest, watch out for being forced into bed rest. if you will. Use this energy. Go to therapy. Stop and take a break and get a massage. Go to the spa. Go rock climbing. I know Mr. Virgo loves to do that. Do things for yourself that really pour into your own cup. Go walk your dog. Just spend time playing with your cat in a catio. Build your cat a catio. Do things that go against the grain of what you were told to do when it comes to being of service and work. So Virgos, you have Pluto in the North Node activating that sixth house. You're transforming your health, your daily habits, daily routines, one small choice at a time. If you've ever wanted to go on a diet like vegan or paleo, or if you've ever wanted to eliminate dairy or drink more water, move your body more, take a break to read a book for an hour every day, this is the time to do it. Now, Jupiter in the South Node over in Leo, in that 12th house, we are releasing stress, burnout, overworking, the need to control everything so that we can create space for deep healing and inner peace. Virgos, you guys are so good at hiding how you really feel. I've said this on many episodes, but Virgos are statistically, because I have polled so many famous comedians, their big three, statistically, from my data, the number one sign of a comedian. And when you think of comedians, what do they have? They're witty, they're smart, they think fast, and if they do crowd work, like Matt Rife, Virgo, very good example of this, they have to be so analytical and judgmental, yes, to judge and do crowd work. It's a perfect job for a Virgo because of how fast and cerebral they are. However, statistically, we can look this up. A lot of comedians suffer from depression, mental illness. Matt Rife, one of the most famous comedians, Virgo sun, he admits this, and he has severe insomnia and has suffered greatly from anxiety and depression. It's almost like his greatest gift in being an actor, being on stage, thinking fast and doing improv is also his biggest curse, because your mind has to work so fast in order to be good at that. But then it gets very hard to turn it off, right? And so this is the 6th and the 12th house axis. Your work habits, Virgo, are undergoing a complete reset. Small changes now create lasting results later. Take a break. Virgos, please, we need you in this day and age, especially as Chiron gets into Taurus, when it's going to be all about nature. Come on, wheat bearer, this is your domain. Jupiter sitting in Leo in your 12th house also invites you to spend more time restoring your inner world through rest, reflection, healing, therapy, trusting that not every answer has to be found through constant productivity. Jupiter going through the 12th house is a very personal transit, even though it's really quiet. Not a lot of people can see it, but you can definitely feel it. I call it the olive branch transit. And you guys are going to have this until next July, August. This is where we make amends with old enemies. Sometimes a lot of people with Jupiter transiting their 12th house, and it happens once every 12 to 14 years, so it's quite rare. They literally get an apology from someone they've had beef with for a decade, or they issue the apology, or there's just some sort of, hey, I think we're at peace with this now. We're not homies, we're not friends, but I think I'm at peace with this now. So utilize that to rest and relax and take care of your physical health, your diet, your routine. And yes, with the North Node in the 6th house, potentially adopt a pet, create something from your pet, use a pet as a therapeutic means to heal. May the unconditional love of animals is the most potent medicine. Virgos know this more than anyone. But simply put it, Virgos, it's time to take a break. It's time to spend time alone. Virgos don't like to spend time alone because I think it scares them to be with their own thoughts. It's like they have to constantly keep moving, going. It's like if they sit by themselves, they'll either scroll on their phone. You take their phone away, they're going to find a book. You take the book away, they're going to start drawing calculations on the wall. I don't know. They're going to start looking around at everything around them, go outside and vacuum the grass. Like they're going to find something. Virgos, I challenge you with these eclipses to take a break, to relax, to take up meditation. Go back to yoga if you haven't been in a long time. But take time for you, because Not only will this help your physical health and dodge any serious physical issues that could arise from this if you choose to ignore it, but if you're looking to work with someone, if you're working to start a business with someone, if you want to hire more people or work with people that are more aligned with you, you may find that if you do the work of relaxation and rest and taking a sabbatical and a break, you come back refreshed and attract a completely different type of people that honor the fact that you will not always text back within a business day. All right, Virgos, have fun with this one. Always here if you need me. Libras. Hi, Libras. How you guys doing? You ready for the nodes of fate in your chart? We have the 5th house and 11th house activation. Libras, are you having babies? Are you getting pregnant? Do you want to get pregnant? If it's not pregnancy with the 5th house north node and Pluto going through it, some of you have probably already experienced pregnancy, losing custody of children, welcoming a child into your family, maybe a sibling's having a child, and there's just kids getting everywhere. If that's not the definition of this, it's the conception of a creative idea or a creative project. And the 5th house is also joy. It's the heart of the chart. It's the, I love to do this as a teenager. I felt so free. When we have a north node eclipse paired with Pluto, where might you have fated events and what must die or transform to get there? Creativity, romance, children, hobbies, your self-expression, they're asking for more room in your life. So the things that are holding you back from those things, they gotta go, Libra. And that is where we go to the South Node and Jupiter sitting in your 11th house. You gotta release something here. The most obvious definition of a South Node eclipse in the 11th house is a friend or a friend group has got to go. This, gosh, I'm just thinking of very black and white definitions of this. Let's say you are listening to this and you are in a stage where you want to have children, but the people you've surrounded yourself with are like, not for me, no thank you. And you're like, well, geez, this is kind of weird because I really want this. But they are like, ooh, you sure about that? Like, that's a lot. Like, no one here is wrong, but it could just be misalignment of priorities and where you want your life to go. Let's say you want to get into a hobby, but you're like, I don't know anyone that does that. Like, all my friends are athletic, but I really want to start taking up drama or theater. How do I switch groups? How do I get into the right one? So at the same time, we're releasing something in that 11th house, friendships, community connections. When we do that, you guys might make a new best friend who you have so much fun with. Or maybe you make a new best friend through a child, a connection. So many of you guys tell me about your cool besties stories where you're taking your kiddo to daycare, or you're going to a mommy and me yoga class, and you meet someone else there, and you're like, hey, we have kids the same age. You want to be best friends? And voila. That is something that could happen during these transits. So the people entering your life now may inspire dreams you never imagined pursuing alone, my lovely Libras. So I really like this axis for you guys. The 5th house and the 11th house, it's a fixed axis, meaning we're usually very set in our ways. I love this and that's that. Those are my friends and that's that. But the eclipses are asking you to really change. It's like, do you want to jump off the cliff and fly on your own, or do you want Pluto to push you when you're not expecting it? You decide. All is a weather forecast. That's it. But joy wants to become your compass again, Libras. That 5th house, North Node, and Pluto coming into there. I feel like you guys haven't had fun in a long time. I feel like a lot of you, especially with Saturn going through your 7th house of marriage and partnership, I feel like you guys have been in this era where it's been all about learning to trust romantic partners again, where it has been fears around, will I ever get married? Will I ever have a lifelong partnership? Will I ever start a family? And then my Libras who have a family, I feel like it's just been drama, to the point where you're like, oh, it would be a luxury to say, what do I like to do for fun? Because I am just surviving through life right now. I'm looking at my hummingbird feeder, and there's a giant hornet chasing the hummingbird away. Libras, I feel like you are the hummingbird, and life is the hornet, and you're just like, can I have something sweet? And life is like, no, go find another responsibility to take care of. Go find another relationship to mediate. And you're like, I just want some nectar, some sweetness in life. Fun fact, hummingbirds are assholes. Did you guys know that? Like, they are fighters. I always say, if Aries needs a new symbol, it would be a hummingbird. I should do that just for a fun episode. You guys should help me with your wonderful cerebral intelligence, you air signs, and your sweet creativity, Venusian. Help me figure out, if we were to just for fun give each zodiac sign a new animal, what would it be? Aquarius would be an alien. Aries would be a hummingbird. Libras, you guys, did you know you're the only symbol without a heartbeat? You are the only symbol that doesn't have a pulse. You are an item. Translate that however you want to, but you're the scales of justice. So we need to instill some fun into you so that the scales realize they don't always have to just work and weigh everybody else's issues, that you can just go have fun, okay? So let's wrap this up, Libras. You guys need to release an old dream, an old hopes or a dream. A lot of you could be retiring if you're of age with the South Node eclipse in the 11th house and moving towards more, okay, now that I don't have to work, what do I want to fill my days with? It better be joyful and fun because life is meant to be enjoyed, right? But we're releasing maybe a hope or a dream about children or about creativity. Maybe you once dreamt of being a pop star, and now we have to release that because we have kids and we have things we got to do. But it's also asking you to revisit it from a different angle, a Rubik's Cube. You wanted it to be on the yellow side. Maybe we need to approach it from the green side. Don't give it up fully, but allow it to be what it wants to be with your current life's reality. Friendships, community connections, they want to expand in beautiful ways. Excuse me, the pugs are just snoring. They love you, Libras. The Jupiter in the South Node in your 11th house really wants you to release friendships or long-term goals that no longer fit who you are today. Let it go, Libras. Make room for inspiring new connections, new friends. Get out there and volunteer. Show up, even if you feel awkward and like you don't fit in, show up to a group meeting that you really are curious about. Let's say you're like a closet astrology freak, but your whole family is super organized religion, and they're like, oh my gosh, if you go into that, wow, right? Well, so what? Go find a way. Listen to more astrology podcasts. Move into it. This is what these eclipses are asking you to do. Transform, romance, children, pregnancy. If you guys do get pregnant under this, which if that's something you want, it looks beautiful for you, it's likely to be something that transforms everything in your chart, from your relationship to your career to where you live, your physical body, of course. It's likely to be extremely powerful. It's really cool. I would love to talk to you guys and see how this is playing out in your life. So you know where to find me, Libras. Enjoy it. Scorpios. Where on earth might fated events really change your life? Well, we're looking at a very important axis, the 4th house and the 10th house. This is a cardinal axis. This is the tippity top of your chart and the bippity bottom of your chart. If your chart is a tree and the roots are at the base and the canopy with the flowers or the fruit is at the top, you are having eclipses activating this. This is huge. This is one of those axes where eclipses really show up in your daily life. The changes are palatable. They are 3D. They are in front of you. So let's break this down. Your 4th house has the Aquarius North Node and Pluto sitting right there. What must transform at home in order for you to really feel like you enjoy where you live or your living space, or just feeling good within your emotional body? Now, Jupiter and the South Node sitting in the 10th house, the release of a career or an ideal of where you thought your life was going might give you a blessed opportunity at home or in your career. Scorpio, this is intense. This is cool though. I like it a lot. Pluto in the North Node, sitting in your 4th house, wants to really transform your family. So a lot of you could be welcoming in bonus kids, biological kids. You could be getting pregnant. You could be moving in with family. Your emotional foundation is the 4th house. It really needs to feel strong and resilient. I feel like a lot of you just had kids with Saturn and Pisces going through your 5th house. It was so fascinating. It was like every time I got a Scorpio rising chart who was of child rearing age, They came to me. I had 43-year-old Scorpio risings getting pregnant. I had so many Scorpio risings in their Saturn return getting pregnant out of the blue. I had some 21-year-old Scorpio risings like, I'm not ready, but here we go. It was fascinating. So I feel like all of you guys are in this era where now that you have a baby, of course, you're a Scorpio mama or papa bear, and you are just like, I need to give my child protection, community, a village I love so intensely that it's stressing me out, and I need help. I need people I can rely on and trust with my life, which is my child's life. And I feel like you guys might be going, oh, shoot. The only people that really have that are my family. And you guys might be in this limbo where you maybe had beef with your family, or you had separation or no contact with your family. And now you have to be like, okay, what's that spiritual quote? You think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family. I feel like you guys are in that era where you're like, shit or get off the pot. I got to make amends with my family because I need help raising said child or children. Feel like that's a lot of things you guys are going through, but that could be your North Node in Aquarius eclipses as you change where you live. Someone moves in, someone moves out. You move across the country. You start a family compound. Those things are highlighted. Now let's talk about Jupiter in the South Node in Leo, what we need to release. So maybe a blessed opportunity comes up. This is your 10th house of career. Of course, if we have a kiddo or our family calls us, we need to be a caregiver to aging parents or family members. That's going to mess with our career. As above, so below. But it's almost like if you're having South Node eclipses in the 10th house, it's asking you to go up to that canopy and harvest the fruit, but bring it home and make a feast for the whole family. Not just you, not just the baby, not just kids you live with or you and your partner, the whole family, the whole community. So we're releasing outdated career goals or public expectations. We are letting go of how we thought our life was going to play out. Let me say that again, Scorpios. Whenever we talk about South Node eclipses in Leo, I got truth bumps for you. Let go of how you thought life was going to turn out. Career-wise, number one, with what you thought you'd be when you grow up. Let it go. You guys are going to be very powerful and magnetic, and Jupiter sitting up there as well is like, ooh, if you'll just let go of that tight scorpionic grip of how you think you should work or what you think you should be, something absolutely amazing, more aligned, is ready to come in. So give it a little release there. You're releasing outdated legacy. Like I don't want this to be my legacy. I don't want to be known for this anymore. Because when you do, you just might find that it opens the door to greater success, to even more recognition. It's almost like if you're a Scorpio and you're very heavy on Instagram and you're like, I can't do this shit anymore. It is weighing me down. I don't like it, but I still like social media. So instead of that, I'm going to go write about my raw, primal feelings on Substack. So you delete Instagram, you delete TikTok, you delete X, and you focus all of that Scorpio energy on Substack and being authentic and really alchemizing your powers over there. Next thing you know, you're going viral. You're a hit. You have thousands and thousands of subscribers. And you're like, oh my gosh, I never thought this would be my career, but okay, I'll take it. Let's go. This is awesome what vulnerability can get you. That's what I'm seeing with these eclipses. Some of you may become full-time caregivers, which means you have to let go of a piece of your career to get there. Some of you may be giving up. Like, I thought I would live by the ocean, but my family and my people are here in the Midwest, so I need to go there. Your attention is shifting towards home, roots, family, and emotional security. That's where the fated things really want you to come home to. Creating a life that truly feels like yours is so important right now. Meanwhile, those 10th house Leo career opportunities will expand if you release the things that aren't letting you feel emotionally safe within your 4 physical walls, but within your body as well, that vagus nerve as well. Right? As above, so below. As your public life grows, your private life deserves just as much care. As you focus on, you know what, fine, I'll surrender to moving next to my family if it means I have help. Ooh, wow, having help changes everything. I can go get a job, or I can focus on my career now while having the best of both worlds. This is what I'm seeing, Scorpio. This is what I'm sensing. This is what I'm picking up. So with that said, your Scorpio moon girl is always here for you if you ever want to chat about it. So you know where to find me. I know you stalk me on the internet. Okay. I love you guys. Show notes if you need me. Sagittarius, Archers rise up. Where are these eclipses hitting us? Let's take a good look. Let me get through my notes here. Check off Scorpio, finish that. Ooh, Sagittarius, we got the 3rd and the 9th house getting activated. Okay. I'll take this. This is the axis of the mind. What am I going to say? Sagittarius, what am I about to say? If you don't publish your book, I'm coming. Yep, that's what I'm about to say. Sagittarius, we have the North Node fated eclipse pushing us into our 3rd house. Start writing that book, or I will personally use AI to find your location and come find you and sit down with you and write my book that I'm also avoiding. I'm pointing a dirty finger. Do as I say, not as I do, fellow archers. Okay, and we got to transform the way we think, the way we speak, the way we approach writing our books, the way we approach conversations that must be had. We can't just run away from them anymore. Jupiter and the South Node are blessing anything we choose to release in the 9th house, okay? Curiosity becomes our superpower. Writing, speaking, teaching, learning, that's all 3rd house themes. Meaningful conversations that you put yourself into can open remarkable doors. Sag, say yes to some things. I feel like a lot of Sages are like slowly coming out of their shell. I feel like since 2018, 2019, a lot of Sages had to do some heavy lifting in terms of life's responsibilities. And they're like, man, can I just have fun and be crazy and wild and free again? I think we're finally poking our head out, groundhog here. And we're like, oh, I can go have fun again. All right, let's do this. Life can be enjoyable. And now I need to write about my experiences since 2018. Jupiter in our 9th house encourages exploration through travel, higher education, going back to school, getting certified in something, publishing. I'm going to say it again, Sagittarius. I'm going to start a Sagittarius retreat where all of us Sag placements come together and we just talk about our novel ideas. We don't have to sit and write, but we'll sit in a circle and we'll go like, all right, what's your book idea? What's your book idea? Well, let me tell you guys about my book idea. I've had it in my brain for like 4 years, but I've only gotten like halfway through it. You know what? That's a pretty good accomplishment. I should be nicer to myself. The farther we're willing to expand our perspective, the more life will expand alongside us. Saggies, 9th and 3rd house. Pluto in the North Node, sitting in our 3rd house. This is our siblings and our neighbors as well. So in terms of a meaningful conversation that changes everything, it could be with a brother or a sister. It could be with a neighbor. You're walking the dog, you taking the trash out. All of a sudden, you're sitting at your mailbox for 3 hours having a conversation that you're never the same from. Things like that. Transforming how we think, how we speak, how we share our ideas with the world. If you work in something like podcasting, publishing, blogging, teaching, if you work in public education, a lot of you do, or if you work in higher education, as even more of you do, a lot of you also work in film, I find, film production. Push the envelope. Say the thing nobody wants to say. Say the thing that you know is a Sag, X-ray vision. Everyone's thinking, but nobody is saying, yes, I am giving you a permission slip to put your foot in your mouth. Do it. Share your ideas with the world. Because Jupiter, going through your 9th house, you might land a book deal. You might go viral. You might become very well known and a keynote speaker on a specific subject, all because you chose one time to say what everybody else was thinking but too afraid to say. Jupiter in the South Node, releasing limiting beliefs. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid of people calling you a name, labeling you as something? Is that scary? Because guess what? They're always going to, no matter what you say. If a Sag tries to fit into a box and do the right thing and do what everyone tells them to do, they're going to implode. Implode. Okay? Don't mess with a Sagittarius when it comes to, what did I learn in medical astrology? Bipolar, anger, borderline personality. Like when they don't get to run and stretch their legs and speak their truth, that energy has to go somewhere. And it typically shoots right up the vagus, from the thighs, right up the vagus nerve to the brain, is what I learned in school. Release limiting beliefs. Allow exciting opportunities through travel. Yes, Sag, I'm telling you, travel, travel, travel. The more passport stamps you get, the better. If you guys really want to play with this weather forecast, book an international trip during a Leo eclipse. So as you listen to this, I'm looking at August 12th to August 27th. I just ordered my 2027 moon calendar, so I don't have it in front of me. But book yourself an international trip during that time. Come back and tell me how it went. That's all I'm going to say. Higher education, sign up, graduate. A lot of you are probably graduating. Publishing, spirituality, religion, if you want to get heavy into those. It is the South Node, though, in that ninth house. So you guys could be shedding an old political belief, coming out of the political closet to someone else, an old spiritual belief, shifting how you believe in the woo-woo. I don't know, something like that. It's really fun, though. You know, this is your axis. Sagittarius rules the ninth house. You're kind of letting go of any limiting belief that you're telling yourself that you can't write, teach, speak, publish, coach people about. Period. Sagittarius, your girl's always here for you. You know where to find me. Check out the show notes. Peace. Capricorn risings. Let me just check off Sag. We're done with them. Capricorns, you are having these eclipses on your money axis. Ooh. Did I just make you turn up the volume and turn down the AC so you can listen to me close? Did I get you with the M word? Money axis? We are moving towards the North Node in Pluto in Aquarius in your second house of earned income. And we are releasing, which might give you a blessed opportunity, in the 8th house of big kid money. If the second house is our earned income through our biweekly paychecks, our job, the 8th house is I sold a property and made a lot of money. An elder in my family passed away and I had no idea they left me all that. Oh my gosh. Second house, but I make a pretty good, decent salary. 8th house, whoa. Oh, wow, I gotta move smart with this money. When we have eclipses on this axis, especially when it's the North Node in the second house and the South Node in the 8th house, we are being asked to transform our finances. Period. We are releasing fear around, I don't have a 401k. I don't have investments. I don't know if I can trust people enough with money. And we are moving towards, yes, I can. I deserve abundance. I want to make even more money doing something I love, where I feel valued. So Pluto in the North Node, sitting squarely in that second house of earned income, we are transforming not only our finances here, but our self-value, your relationship to self-worth, material items that you have dreamt of purchasing, whether it's a fully functioning dream car or a house, a dream house. Some big material items could come into your life as we have the North Node, fate, destiny moving towards it, second house themes. But the release aspect is the 8th house. So not only you guys are you releasing fear around sharing resources, which, you know, you guys are already a stickler for my money is my money, earn your own. But if you have other placements in your chart like Pisces where you have just given, then we might release any old wounds around I can't trust anybody with money. People have betrayed me when it comes to finances. But when I remove money from this equation, if that's not something on your board, then it's the axis of self-worth and trust as a whole. The 8th house is sex, death, taboo stuff. When we have the South Node releasing things in that house, it's, in Jupiter, lucky you guys, you got Jupiter there to really soften the edges of this. It's like saying, hey, you don't need to operate from the standpoint of put your guard up. Ooh, someone wants to work with you, put your guard up. I'm falling in love with someone, put your guard up. Don't get married. If you get a mortgage, don't get their name on it. Things like that. Don't have sex with them. I don't trust them. Are they on birth control? I don't know. Do they have an STD? Ew. It's like, shh, calm down. We've got to release fear of intimacy, and we've got to step into self-worth. Now, I would reach out to friends, your community, your group, to really get to know this because it is the North Node in Aquarius. And I would let go of, does my ego want this person? Or is this person, at the end of the day, a friend to me? That's a big deal with this axis. Jupiter in the South Node in the 8th house is releasing fear so that you can have greater abundance. And number one, Capricorns, emotional freedom. Capricorns, I feel like, gosh, I would go as far back as 2008. You guys have just gone through it. I feel like you guys are Scorpios with a Capricorn mask. Like, you have seen some dark stuff. Perhaps there have been lawsuits, domestic violence, God forbid, sexual abuse, psychological abuse. And especially under this Aquarius full moon, July 29th, I feel like it is coming to a head where you guys are truly ready to make permanent, lasting, adult level changes in your life that, number one, have to do with money and shared resources. But number two, it's a decision that might break your heart, but put back together your self-confidence, which of course will inevitably heal your heart. You guys are redefining what security truly means, whether it's money, self-worth, possessions, or just your personal values. A lot of you guys might be looking at romantic partners or friendships and saying, I am now no longer going off of you're hot and I like you. You're cool and I like you. We look good on pictures, so I like you. You guys are moving into, do I trust you with large amounts of money? Can I trust you sexually? Just a big point. And can I trust you financially? It's unsexy, but it's such an important topic to discuss in a partnership, which is, how do you handle debt? How do you handle finances? If you guys have been financially supporting someone, unless they are reciprocal with it, we've got to put an end to it. And you might find, like, then what am I going to do? You might find you get so much more abundance and wealth that you guys go on to purchase that said dream home or car or something that is just yours, that you feel in control of and really proud of. So proud of. You guys are transforming things around trust, emotional resilience. Lasting abundance for you guys begins when you recognize that your self-value is not something you have to earn or beg for from someone. It's something you embody. I mean, you guys are truly like a phoenix rising from the ashes and stepping into the world as the great Gatsby, who's like, I will live alone with all of my riches until I find people that respect me, value me, and I can trust with secrets and big amounts of money. Okay? Capricorns, if you need me, I'm always here for you. This is a really fun transit. A lot of you might change jobs, change how you earn income, but even if it's shocking at first and you're kind of biting your nails, like, how am I going to swing it? Let me tell you, Jupiter in that 8th house is a safety net. You'd be very surprised at who might come through with an inheritance or money or an investment that makes you realize, oh my gosh, I wish I left this job way sooner than I already did. This is the best. There's good things on the horizon, Capricorn, especially when it comes to finances and leaving a legacy. Don't go at it alone. You know where to find me. All right, step into my office, Aquarius. Step into my office. You guys know what I'm about to say. Come see me. You've got Pluto going through your first house, hitting all of your Aquarius stuff. I want to know, are you a completely different person? How has Pluto's energy been? Are you transformed? Are you beginning to transform? This full moon is on you, baby. July 29th, that big, bright full moon in Aquarius was all you. What came up for you? What happened? Please, I want to know. You guys are having the eclipses in Aquarius and Leo on the most personal axis imaginable, the 1st house and the 7th house. This is one of the most defining chapters people can experience. And yours is magnified. Of course, you guys never do anything half-assed, do you? You'll have Pluto sitting on the north node, Jupiter sitting on the south node. It's set to be dramatic, a party, big and loud. Pluto continues transforming your identity from the inside out. You guys already know this. While the north node, fate, destiny, encourages you to become even more unapologetically yourself. It's like you've known what you need to do, but this full moon and then the impending north node eclipses in Aquarius are going to be when you act. When you go from, okay, this girl's right, I do need to do that. Boom, I'm doing it. Making the call, reaching out, planning the thing, booking the appointment, moving, doing the thing. At the same time, Jupiter brings growth through partnerships, marriage, divorce, relationships, reminding you that the right people will never dim your light or call you weird. They'll help you shine brighter. They will encourage your eccentricities. The right people will never say, "You're doing what? With who? This is weird. You can't do that." The right people will go, "Whoa, I never thought of that, but you're perfect for the role. That would be amazing for you. Let's go." Leo, 7th house. Now, some of the biggest, most obvious definitions of having eclipses on the 1st and 7th house axis is marriage and divorce. I was saying this to the Leo risings who have this same axis but inverted. So they're having North Node eclipses in the 7th house. You guys are having them in the 1st house. So you guys actually have more of the energy of a release of a partnership because it is the South Node in your 7th house. But it's almost like as soon as you have that release, you have a brand new one come into the picture because Jupiter is right there. If any of you Aquarians listening to this get a divorce or a separation or break up during this time period, it's highly unlikely that it is something just unbearably painful or shocking. It's a blessing. Even if you can't see it immediately, but it's almost like you guys feel so free, expansive, and abundant that when people are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry you guys broke up," you're like, "Please don't be. I feel amazing." Now, for my single Aquarians or Aquarians in happy, content, peaceful relationships, the South Node in the 7th house for a single person could be where you release your guard that was keeping people out, pushing people away in order to let someone in. It's like release the fear of your heart, Leo, being crushed so that someone expansive, joyful, and abundant can come in. You guys deserve intimacy. If you are in a happy relationship currently, the South Node eclipse in the 7th house could come through as how we used to operate is dying off. So a new level of we're leveling up in our relationship. This could be marriage, babies, buying a house, getting engaged. It's like, okay, wow, we used to be that. Now we're releasing that in order to move up to this next level. Now, the North Node is in your 1st house. Pluto is in your 1st house. You guys are transforming your identity big time. Fated events that force you into it. If you've always said, "I don't like the job I have, but I just, I can't leave." I mean, you guys are a fixed sign after all. You're as stubborn as your Taurus cousins. "I can't leave." Well, the North Node eclipses with Pluto in the 1st house will say, "Okay, perfect. You're fired." "What?" "Yeah, you're fired. You're done. Leave tomorrow." "What?" "You'll thank me later," is what they could be saying. Jupiter in the South Node in the 7th house, releasing relationship patterns that no longer serve you, will invite healthier, more fun, heart-centered partnerships. So, Aquarians, if you've heard us astrologers go, identity switch, identity change, new beginnings, and you're looking around like, "Yeah, where?" Well, it's probably because you haven't made the changes yet. And these eclipses, paired with Pluto, are going to say, it's time. If you won't jump and fly, we will push you off the cliff. This is truly like one of the coolest eclipse axes to have, in my personal opinion, especially if you're looking for healthy partnership, or especially if you're ready to act, think, dress, and be different, more authentically who you are. If you are an Aquarius in a position where you're like, "I don't like how my life turned out right now. This isn't me." Well, you might find that under these eclipses, things are released so that by the end of this 18-month period, you are in a place, if you work with the weather, this is a weather forecast and it doesn't show up at your door. You have to go outside and enjoy the sun. It doesn't just beam into you. You may find at the end of this eclipse season, when they switch into Capricorn and Cancer, that you are living a life that feels very in alignment with where you have always wanted to be. Aquarians, never go at this alone. I want to hear your stories. What's going on? How does life feel? Come find me. You know where to look. Pisces, hi guys. Oh, you are having these eclipses in a gentle axis, we'll call it. It's the 6th and the 12th house. This is the axis of health, I know some people freak out and think they're going to get sick. No. I mean, of course, if you don't pay attention to where you're feeling burnt out or where your mental, energetic health needs a little pop the hood and looking under there, then sure, but nothing too serious. And you guys are already so intuitive, but you can also be a little lazy because, ew, the world and all of its energies. I mean, I don't have Pisces in my chart, but I really sometimes think I do because I vibes with you guys hard. The world is so harsh. The world is so cruel. People have such weird energy. It freaks me out whenever I'm like interacting with, which is very rare. I will say I love the world. I think people are so much fun, and I don't care what the news says. My lived experience of people is people are very happy. I know, shocker. That's just, maybe it's my energy and what I attract. I don't know. I don't have negative experiences. I've had amazing experiences, but I feel so bad and just cringy when I interact with someone who is so just, they have decided they hate the world and that is where they're going. And I just want to be like, hey, are you okay? But then I'm going to go home and I'm not going to talk to anyone because I'm going to need to clean my own energy. That's this axis, guys. You guys are having the North Node, fate, destiny. Let's move you towards this with Pluto in your 12th house of the subconscious, mental health, patterns in the family, the ancestry, the lineage. And you're having South Node, release, let go. This doesn't serve you anymore. Eclipses in your 6th house of day-to-day routine, health, diet. Do you drink water or electrolytes? Pets fall into this area of life. If you have a sick elderly pet, yes, it is. I never want to scare you guys, but of course we know this, right? If you have an aging pet, it's highly likely that it's going to decide to go over the Rainbow Bridge over the next 2 years. Of course, like that's not a shocker. And if it does happen during the eclipses, it tells me it's a very powerful, symbolic, transformative, in the best of ways, actually, that might heal you emotionally, 12th house, through that act. But how I would describe this axis when we want to move you towards the 12th house and away from the 6th house, not away, but releasing bad habits in the 6th is simple. Pisces, we cannot reach an optimal state of mental health if our diet and daily routine, if we don't work out and we eat processed food and we don't drink enough water and we don't look at our protein, if we just eat sugar and carbs every day, and we don't move our body, and we are so chronically dehydrated, you're never going to reach the optimal mental and energetic health that the 12th house wants you to get to. As above, so below. What must transform in order to reach this? Your daily routines. I know, I feel like you guys are like teenagers and I'm the parent telling you to do your chores, but it's so important. Ew. But so important that we look at, like, maybe you're on the other side of the spectrum here. Maybe you're a Pisces that has been so strict vegan that you're finally starting to realize this is slowly killing me. I need to maybe change up my diet and listen to my body and my energy to see what it needs. My body is silently communicating with me. But Pisces, much of your growth is happening beneath the surface. These eclipses will not necessarily deliver physical 3D changes as much as they will internal. You're definitely set to move through the world differently by the time this is all said and done. You guys are being asked to heal old stories, let go of emotional baggage from the past, from your lineage, not just mom and dad, your lineage. This is a wonderful time. Under any new moon or full moon in Aquarius or Leo, I would highly try and find an ancestry test or DNA test or a family tree to just dig and see what your ancestry was like. Get an Akashic Records reading. I love Kat Fowler for those. But you're strengthening your inner world deeply. This is a powerful time to do this. Jupiter, sitting in that 6th house, is supporting improvements in your health, your work, your daily routine. So maybe you guys with Jupiter in that 6th house are like, you know what, you're right. I'm doing that. I'm taking up the Pilates class. I'm going to go do water aerobics with all the elderly Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. I'm going to go do those things. Hey, if you guys are in the Austin area, there is a yoga studio that does pug yoga I'm not kidding. You can go do yoga with pugs. Let that sink in. Go find like goat yoga or kitten yoga and move your body and do something healthy. Green juice. I'm about to go have mine. As your invisible foundation becomes stronger, every visible part of your life begins to flourish. Pisces, if you want to get your health on track, physical and mental, these are your eclipses. This is your time. You're transforming your inner world by healing what has been hidden beneath the surface. You're releasing unhealthy routines or unhealthy work patterns to create opportunities for greater physical health and balance and fulfillment in your day to day. Okay? So, if you are a workaholic, if you've been so busy but not necessarily productive, it's time to change that. You guys need to here's your permission slip, and you're going to love me for this. Take a sabbatical. Book yourself a spiritual retreat. Book yourself an Airbnb with no one around, no technology, turn the Wi-Fi modem off, and just go vibes with yourself for a moment in order to come back to the 6th house and tackle what needs to be released. Go through your day-to-day routine with a fine-tooth comb and fix it. What needs to go? Are you waking up and grabbing your phone? Slap you on the wrist. Get outside and look at the natural light. Turn your phone off after 8 p.m. Put on do not disturb. Do not check notifications. Stop waiting for that person to reach out to you. Reach out to them and have the conversation, or cut them off. If they get mad that you don't respond to them in a certain way, they got to go. Because my daily routine needs to be mine. I need to protect myself in order for my invisible, mental, spiritual, energetic health to be chef's kiss. Go to Sedona, clean your energy. Go to Moab if you want to. Go to Telluride. Go to the ocean. Go somewhere quiet around water, a lake, a river, a stream. Walk around a pond and call your energy back. I can't encourage you to do this enough. Because, look, you're meditating while walking. You're moving your physical body. Double whammy. It's perfect. You guys are being asked to take care of your physical and your invisible health so that you guys can really show up as the shamans, the gurus, the channels that you are for what we'll soon need you for in the age of Aquarius, which is a radical change in the collective. So, Pisces, that's what I got for you with this one. Good luck with that gluten-free diet. I'm always here if you need me. You know where to find me in the show notes. All right, everybody, this was really fun to record. I hope you got something out of it. Very similar. It's kind of overlaying with all the other horoscope episodes, but I hope by now you can see a very clear theme of where your chart wants you to go with the flow. And I hope you guys use this to work with that instead of trying to paddle upstream. There's nothing more that drives an astrologer bananas when we see people, with tons of 4th house transits trying to start a business and a career, when we see your chart wants you to go home and relax. People, it's so cool to see them take the biggest sigh of relief when they get that permission slip or just that notification of, hey, you're trying to go outside when your chart wants you to go inside, and vice versa. You know what I mean? So if you guys need help with this or you want to dive into it further, because of course your personal chart will add so many more layers and flavors to these horoscopes, visit me at astrology-lounge.com. Have fun in the eclipse season. Of course, I will be back in August to tell you exactly what's going on, what's happening between August 12th and 27th. And I will be back with lots more episodes, including the astrology of August. Mars moving into Cancer. We're going to talk about chart rectification. We've got lots of good stuff coming up. So be sure to subscribe, turn your notifications on, and I'm sending you so much love from beautiful. We just planted a bunch of vitex, and they are in bloom. I love that plant. But beautiful Twin Moon Ranch outside of Austin, Texas. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye!